let's see. All right. What I wanted to do is get everybody together in an online manner, so to speak, and make sure that we're all on the same page and everyone understands how to operate the portal, and make sure everyone knows how to submit any questions, comments, etc. Number one, by a show of hands, who has been able to access the flipthatcontract.com/dashboard portal? So there's a button to raise hands, and we are starting to see some hands. Let's see. Looks like we've got Gene. Are you with us? Gene, if you can't figure out how to raise your hand, just go ahead and chat to me. That way we can know. Betty, if you're with us, if you could chat, or okay, there you go, Gene. Betty, if you're in, I'd like to know if you've been able to log onto the portal.
Yeah, I guess question one is are you
go.
there? And then question two is, can you have you guys gotten access to the FTC portal?
So Bill and Betty, I haven't seen any interaction from you guys. Have you been able to log on to the Flip That Contract portal, the flipthatcontract.com/dashboard? Okay, Betty has access. Bill Fenton, you're the last one I'm waiting on. Could you raise your hand or chat or text or some way communicate with us that you have been able to access or you have not been able to access? Okay. There you go, Bill. All right, I got you. Okay, so that's everybody. All right, good. Now, I want to cover a couple things about the portal. The portal is run by a company named Kajabi. George and I do not have 100% admin control. So there are certain things that are beyond our control that we can get fixed if you bring them to our attention. So number one is the audio files that are out there. I understand there's been some people have had issues playing them and issues getting the audio files to show a player. I've been reassured by Kajabi that will be fixed by Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. There's been a file download issue. If you guys are trying to open up the Microsoft Office documents in Kajabi, what you're going to need to do is right-click Save As. You're not going to be able to just click on it and open it. You actually have to save it to your computer and then open it on your computer. We're trying to get that fixed where you can just click on it, but as of right now, that's the only way around it. The audio files are all being uploaded now as attachments so that you can actually just download them to your computer to get away from that player error complication. So now, with that said, depending on your level of access, yes, or save target as, correct, Joe. So with all that said, just at any time, if you have any issues, make a comment, and George or myself will get on it fairly quickly. We've been trying to respond as quick as possible. Now, for the VIPs, watch your email tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you will receive the direct hotline phone number from me and George, and you'll receive our VIP student email. Do not share this email address and do not share this phone number, please, because it is exclusive. If you have a partner in your organization, we would really like to just deal with one point of contact. We can't answer partner A's questions one day, partner B's the next day, partner C's the next day, and then A, B, and C the next day. We need to have one point of contact so that we make sure communication is going concisely and it's a two-way street. So, George, you got any items like that you want to talk about real quick?
No, I mean, yeah. Bottom line is, you guys just need to let us know if there's any complications, and we'll do the best we can with getting those. But we're not techies ourselves. We're real estate investors, so we're going to try to get it to you as best we can. And We hope you guys can appreciate that. We want to focus our attention on keeping this as simple as possible. Instead of, if it doesn't work one way, then there's always, you've got to be able to adapt. So anyway, if Kajabi doesn't work out, as far as getting documents to you and opening, then we'll figure out a way to overcome that. We're pretty smart individuals. So anyway, that's,
George is at least. Yeah. I'm not. So I wanted to just, for those of you that really are just joining us, I want to talk a little bit about Module 1. George and I have been recompressing a lot of the files today, and we weren't happy with the way they were playing on the website, so we're recompressing them and uploading them again. You should be able to log onto the portal and see a lot of the content appearing. It will begin to appear throughout the night and into the day tomorrow, as well as the document libraries. And I would say that the content will all be there by Wednesday, all of the Module 1 content. We apologize for the delay in that. However, there were things that were beyond our control, and we wanted to make sure that you guys had a usable product, and it wasn't, the videos were locking up on us and we weren't happy with it. So that being said,
there's enough to get going. Bottom line is you need to implement all of these systems in your business, and we've got 12 different videos that we want you to start watching tonight and tomorrow, and we know that you're not going to spend 24/7, but there's enough content for you to digest and start implementing into your business, and start setting up all these different websites and different portals. And so by tonight's end, I would say that most of these videos are going to be compressed, and then the document but we're just giving ourselves a little bit of extra time if we see complications. But bottom line is you guys need to go through one by one and listen to these videos, and then start downloading the stuff and setting up all these systems, and start thinking about the DBAs and things like that. We're going to really go through each one. Okay. So can you guys see the screen? The 6 weeks to 6 figures. I just want to make sure everybody can see that screen.
Okay.
All right, good.
Okay, I got some hands up. Do any of the people with hands up have questions, or were you just trying to let us know that you could see the screen? From this point forward, I'm going to put all the hands down. If you have questions, please don't raise your hand unless I ask you to. Please, just for questions, type them into the questions pane. That way, we had someone on here the other day that, for some reason, their button was stuck and it kept raising their hand like every 3 seconds, and it was very confusing for me, which, as you'll find out, is not difficult whenever you're dealing with techie stuff with me. So, welcome to 6 weeks to 6 figures. We are very thankful to have all you guys on board. We thank you for taking action. There's so many people that talk to George and myself about making money and becoming real estate investors, and it bodes well to you that you're one of the many that chose to take advantage of this opportunity. From this day forward, our goal is to make sure you have all the resources, but more importantly, we're here to help make sure you take what we teach and do something with it.
Yeah.
This is about action. This is not about perpetual learning and perpetual planning. So, with that said, the plan for today is to go over Module 1, which is setting up your business in your back office. George and I are going to say a lot of things, and this is going to be recorded and posted back to the portal. Please refer back to this webinar if you have questions. We're going to reference some of the modules and some of the lessons that are already loaded into Module 1, and then we will reference modules and lessons that are not yet loaded. So, basics. What is wholesaling? During this course, this is a Flip That Contract course. This course is about flipping contracts. We cannot get sidebarred and distracted into long-term hold philosophies, buy, fix, and sell philosophies, or any other
financing and owner financing and things like that.
We have to stay focused on flipping contracts. Now, to where it actually impacts the understanding the psychology of your buyers and the abilities of your buyers, we'll definitely discuss those things. However, to we're not going to get into setting up bank lines and building your portfolio for your banker, et cetera, because that's just not part of this course. 3 types of wholesales: the low equity assignment, high equity assignment, and the simultaneous close. We'll talk about all those 3 of those. Just make sure we want to get a good basis of understanding about where we're all at, and make sure we're all talking the same language. So the low equity assignment, we will be talking and teaching you about mortgage assignments. But I keep telling you, this is not a mortgage assignments class. It is one of the strategies that we're going to teach you to implement. Can we teach, George, can we teach them everything they need to know about mortgage assignments during this class?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
we will teach you everything, you know, because really, Tim, whether you have someone that has high equity or low equity, it's still an assignment. We got to find, the systems and the processes that are in place are essentially the same. So bottom line is we've got to show them how to wholesale, and we will do that. There's a lot of people out there that want to sell their house. Now we just have to convince them or educate them. I don't want to say convince, because that sounds like I'm leading someone in. I'm leading someone where I want them to go. But bottom line is I want to educate them that selling their property versus letting it go to foreclosure or possibly filing bankruptcy is probably the best option for them in their current situation. So there's a ton of people out there that have good loans that can't afford them. One of my neighbors being one of them, because I'm on the HOA, and it's a higher end house, and he's just walking away from it. But he's got a little bit of equity, and he's got a 5% loan, which is I think very attractive to somebody who can't get a loan right now.
Exactly. So the point is, if this sounds interesting to you, you need to pay attention to Module 1, because if you don't do Module 1 right, you're not going to be in a position to take advantage of this when we get to it later. We're going to teach you how to do high equity assignments, simultaneous close. Okay, from this point forward in this course, let's not use the term double contract or double close or any of that. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page and that we call this a simultaneous close, meaning when I close my contract, I have a buyer that comes and closes a contract between me and that buyer. Meaning there are 2 closings that happen simultaneously, because we're teaching you the proper way to do it, which is to fund your transaction, either with transactional funding or with cash or with whatever your resources. We'll get to that. But just for terminology, just know that we're talking about, when we're talking about double close and all that, we want to refer to it as a simultaneous close.
And Tim, just so I make sure that everybody understands, typically, when are you going to have a simultaneous close? Give them a situation where they'll have a simultaneous close. Is it the majority of the time? Is it not the majority of the time?
It's not the majority of the time. I'm going to have a simultaneous close when I have that 1% chance that a seller will not allow me to assign the house, or I have an REO or a HUD property that I am looking at wholesale.
Okay. So there are times when you talk about assigning the contract to the seller and provide them that and he or she is not on board with that.
I've had sellers that and for the students listening, please do not start letting this become a mental roadblock. Okay? Out of over 1,000 houses, it's happened twice. And you're not going to get this person on your first deal. I had an estate that I was dealing with that one of the brothers was from out of state, and he knew all about wholesalers. And he chose to be Mr. Know-It-All. And now you are not allowed to sign this contract, and we're writing it in. And I said, great. And I wrote him a solid contract, and then I just did a simultaneous close. Bada bing, bada boom. I got paid.
Yeah, and again, the simultaneous close is where, Tim, you write up the offer. You do not have the right to assign it. You close, and that's the rub where a lot of people are going to say, great. First and foremost, it's not going to happen very much, but if it does, then we've got to have a means to be able to do this deal, because because it has so much equity. So what I want you guys to know is we're going to give you the resources so you don't have to dig into your own pocket in order to close and actually facilitate and fulfill this contract that you signed. So don't let that scare you where you actually have to close and you don't have 2 pennies to rub besides your marketing dollars, right? Because we've got hard money lenders that would love to loan you money for a fee, but you can build that fee in and still you might make a little bit less, but you will still make a fee for finding that deal.
And my point is always, George, if I'm hungry and someone gives me 3/4 of a cheeseburger, I'm not going to turn the cheeseburger away. I'm going to eat it. And so that's the whole point with this is, just to get the terminology right. So Module 1, here we go. Module 1 is setting up your business. Now, in the flip that, when you log into your dashboard, under flip that contract, you'll see Module 1. And you'll want to click on Module 1, and we're going to show you this in a second. And there is a section on Google applications. And in this video, we take you through setting up a Gmail account, which I highly recommend whether you think you have an email address that you want to use or not. I take you through setting up a Google Calendar account, a Google Voice account, and a YouTube account. And all of these accounts are tied to this Google login. And now if you already have a Gmail account, feel free to associate it with these other services. Now I'll tell you this, those of you that intend to do a ride-along with me, you're going to have a Google account, period, because I'm going to share my calendar with you, and you're going to pick appointment slots, and that's the way we're going to schedule it. I can't send 30 emails back and forth about when you're going to ride with me. So I highly recommend you watch that video and get started, because that video is a precursor to almost everything, because in that video you are going to set up your communication means. You're going to get a free phone number, a free business phone number that you can log on and route it anywhere you want. I can take my Google Voice account right now and make it point to George's cell phone. And it's free, and it takes about 20 minutes to set it all up, and you need to make sure you take the time to do that. And then you're going to get to listen to George talk about Pat Live and A Better Answer.
And 2 more.
Oh, and two more?
Yeah, you got Pat Live, A Better Answer. You've got fast live calls, and then I can't remember the other one. That really is, and you'll hear me in the video, you've got to have, I believe that a lot of you guys still have full-time jobs and you're trying to run this business, working 10 to 15 hours a week. So you've got to have, I believe that you need to implement the answering service in your business, okay? So you've got to implement that, because it's going to make you money, and it costs anywhere from $40 a month to $150 a month, depending on which service you provide, or which service you select. And A Better Answer and Pat Live, they're the 150. That's the creme de la creme, and they're very reputable and very accurate, and I've never had any problems. But there's 2 other companies that I've used, and I'm testing the $40 one right now with a marketing campaign, and I'll let you know. But $40 is really cheap for an answering service, for a call center. So that's what we're going to talk about in that corporate phone and answering service. Is I've got my Google Voice number pointed to this answering service, and they've got a script, and I give you that script on how to answer the call and what information that you should have your call center or your answering service ask. Don't overwhelm the caller. You just really want to get some information so you can get their information and set an appointment.
And all of that, like George just said, it's already recorded, and it's there in the FTC dashboard right now. Then you're going to need to get your business cards. And let me check. I might have put these slides in here backwards. Hang on, people. Yeah, I put them in backwards. But you're going to need to file your assumed name, and the assumed name is a DBA, and there's a section about the DBA already in there in the module. If you don't have a business name, an entity, not an entity, an identity, and folks, for the purpose of Module 1 and what you're listening to, do not confuse an entity with an identity. Okay? I say this in the recording video that I operate most of my contracts, George, are written actually in the name of a C Corp that's actually named after my wife's maiden name. Those of you that watch the videos of me signing the contract, you hear people say, "Is this your wife's company?" But I don't market Jennifer Rainey Investments. I market Heritage Homes, which is just a DBA that I do business under. And there are a lot of reasons about that you are going to learn from Brian Dunklin later this week. And so do not confuse an identity with an entity. So Brian Farmer and I set up his identity earlier today, recorded it for you, and that lesson is loaded as well. But you got to know what your identity is going to be so you can order your business cards, so you can design your scripts, so that you can do all of these other things. So that's very key, and you need to get that done this week. You need to determine what you're going to call yourself and get it documented.
Yeah, and don't overcomplicate it, you know? I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated or complex or a unique, name. I think you just, keep it simple, and, you're going to have to set up the website and get a website name or a domain name. I'm sorry, not a website name, but a domain name. And so keep that in mind when you're creating your business name or your identity name, because you might want it might look a little bit better if there's some similarities to your company name versus your domain name.
Yes. So then we're going to talk about contact databases and contact management. And I want to take a minute to make sure that you guys understand there are a lot of options out there for contact management. And there are a lot of options out there for accounting software. And what George and I did is we're giving you options because it's different for everyone. And for database contacts, when you're starting out, what I want everyone to do, if you don't already have an email list provider, you need to set up a MailChimp account this week. It's free.
MailChimp.com.
MailChimp.com. It's free.
It's up to 2,000 people. You can have 2,000 people in your database, and they don't charge you anything for it. So you can mail up to 12,000 times, or to 12,000 people. But you can only have 2,000 people in your database, but you can mail them 6 times if you wanted to.
A month.
Yeah, a month, per month, and it's free. And it's pretty user-friendly. They got a lot of templates, and we're going to go over the templates in your MailChimp later on when you're marketing your POP. So all you need to do right now is have MailChimp, and really you should create something where you have all of these, and we're going to create a PDF file so you can have a checkoff, like what is your username and password for all of these, like Pat Live and Google Voice and Google and Gmail and MailChimp and Outlook and Real Prospect and Box.com. We're going to go over, we're going to give you where you can have one sheet of paper in a 3-ring binder, and that you can always keep, and you can put that on your phone or what have you.
Because there are a lot of these services that they require you to have a special character in the password, and then sure enough you create that, and the next one will not allow you to have a special character in the password. So we've got an Excel spreadsheet we're going to upload to the document library in the next. I actually had to take all my information off of it. George, they almost got about 50 login and passwords for me. But you've got to have this. You really need it, and you're going to have to organize all this, because MailChimp, you're going to start putting names in there right now of potential investors. And you don't, here's the thing, you got to understand this. You do not have to qualify a prospect to go into your investor database, because if they have money now, doesn't mean they will next month, and vice versa. If they don't have money now, doesn't mean they won't next month. So you go ahead and you get MailChimp set up, even though you're not going to be marketing properties most likely for another 4 to 5 weeks. You need to have it set up so as you meet people, you can enter their names into MailChimp. Microsoft Outlook, that is the email management software I use. If you don't have Microsoft Outlook, you can go to the Mozilla website, which is the same company that does Firefox, and Mozilla Thunderbird is a free download. It will sync Gmail and all types of POP servers and IMAP servers, and it's very, 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 very user-friendly. I have one of my laptops, I don't have Office on that laptop, and I use Mozilla Thunderbird. And it's free. Just Google it, and it's a free download, and it's very, very user-friendly. If you don't have Microsoft Office, and we talk about Microsoft Excel, one of the things you can do is you can create a Google Docs account, which you just go to google.com/docs, which is free. And any Excel spreadsheets we give you, you can upload into Google Docs, and it will convert them into a spreadsheet format that you can use. Or you can go to Java and go to OpenOffice, and they have a software platform that installs on your computer. But I'm not real keen on that. I've tried it several times, and I would rather work on Google Docs than in OpenOffice. That's just me personally. And then we're going to tell you about a program called Real Prospect. And if you want to see what Real Prospect is, you can check out the video that we recorded, or you can just go to ftcsoftware.com, which is flip that contract, ftcsoftware.com, and that'll take you there. Now, Real Prospect is expensive. Don't get me wrong. I think it's $90 to $300 depending which version you buy. But it's a great contact management system for leads and lead generation and keeping track of tasks. So, but we have a tutorial on that, and you're going to get to see that here tonight when you're watching videos.
Yeah, I don't think starting out,
it's not something you need to set up.
Yeah, I think down the road, once you get a big enough database and you want to keep track and you can afford that, I would say, Real Prospect is a software that we're going to recommend. And some of you guys might want to get started today, but Excel can be pretty powerful if you know how to use it. But this isn't a Excel training class, and so whether it's MailChimp or one of the squeeze page websites that we have.
Yeah, we're not trying to micromanage you. If you don't have a spreadsheet tool on your computer, shoot us a message, a comment on the website, and we'll see if we can point you in the right direction. Yeah. So then we're going to talk about your bank account. And I was talking with Brian today, and it's really hard to talk to you guys about your bank account because it doesn't matter. In the wholesale business, your bank account does not matter. It could be at Farmers National Bank, or it could be at J.P. Morgan Chase, or Deutsche Bank for that matter. It just doesn't matter. So wherever you currently bank, get your DBA, go open a new account.
They're going to need to see that paperwork.
Yep. And make that account your business account. And I want to talk to you a little bit about separation. As you get into the real estate business, or as you take the real estate business to the next level, separation is key. Because what will happen is you'll have certain ventures that don't make you money, and then certain ventures that do make you money. And if you mix that money together, you don't know heads or tails. And you don't know how much you're spending or how much you may actually have, George, an activity that's real high payoff and low cost, that the payoff is getting sucked out of the bank account by other activities that are high cost and low payout. So you want to separate. Go ahead, even if you have an LLC right now, I'm telling you, you need to set up a bank account that's for your wholesaling operation. And you need to start, if you used a credit card to pay for this course, you need to start paying the monthly payments out of that bank account, which means you're going to have to transfer a little bit of money. And to start out, you can just use the old checkbook register that comes with the free checks from the bank. Right, George? I mean, we're not telling them they have to get the laser jet printout checks, right?
Right.
I mean, use the free register.
Right. Just keep it simple. Set up a business account. That way, at the end of the year, it's a lot less stressful. And, you know, bottom line, you keep that separation. Don't commingle funds. That's a big thing with us is allocate when the expenses come in. You know, what is this? You know, it's kind of like you were talking about the check, the $40,000 check. You know, even though you and I could show $40,000 checks, that's not what we netted on this deal because that $40,000 check might have taken 5 months. Or
I had closing costs, rehab costs, interest, utilities, exactly.
Yeah.
So as far as the business entity, you guys, Brian Dunklin is going to be sending us his PowerPoint slides any day now. It's 74 slides. It is packed with information. He and I were going over it the other day, so that should be available here real soon. Web resources. This has changed a little bit, and you're going to get to watch the demos. George and I have been kind of going over what we see in students and what is successful and what isn't successful. And so what we want to tell you to do is don't bother with Flickr or Picasa. We just want all your pictures and documents to go to box.net for now. That way it's all in one place because you can upload your PDFs and you can upload your pictures all into one place. So later in Module 4 or 5 when we're teaching you how to market your POP, it's all in one place. We already told you about a YouTube account, and those are really, the box.net is really the only account that you need to set up this week and get familiar with.
Yeah, and that's really for you to load your pictures and your documents, and it's kind of a catch-all, so you can upload Word documents and it'll convert them. So anything that you want to upload, and really what I like about it, and you guys are familiar with this with these cloud systems, is you can send out this unique link on your emails, and then they don't have to sign up for anything. You know, a lot of times with Flickr, and when I go there and a student brings it, you know, tells me that the pictures are on Flickr, I go to Yahoo and it wants me to sign up for something, and that's irritating. I don't want to spend time signing up for someone that's providing me with a deal versus Box.net or other things like that. You need to make it easy on the end user to look at your deal.
Exactly right. And so then we're going to talk about real investor website and cheap REI websites. It really depends on what you're looking to do. For the purposes of what George and I are teaching you, both web pages are available for $9 a month at cheapreiwebsites.com. You can get both squeeze pages at cheapreiwebsites.com. We're not even going to bother with the tutorial, guys, because I watched his tutorials 3 times today and put Adam through it, and he sailed right through it. The tutorials are great. They tell you exactly how to do it. Now, if you want more websites and a little bit more functionality, you can go to Real Investor website, or to sign up, you can actually just go to ftcsoftware.com. And the thing about Real Investor website is they allow you up to 4 websites, and they have a little bit more templates and options. So if you're just looking to get it going, I say go to Cheap REI Websites. It's only $9, and it's a 30-day trial for $1, and it'll get you set up and going on the right direction. And George and I will be uploading the scripts for that in Module 2, because that is lead generation. That is not setting up your business. The scripts and the videos and all that is Module 2. We're not going to, but I want you to go get it set up, play with it, get familiar with it. You're going to go buy your domains. To get your domain, which is, George, I helped Brian do it today, and Brian's deal was Farmers Real Estate Group. And all we did is we went to FTC domains, flipped that contract domains, and we registered his 2 domains. It took 10 minutes.
.com and .net, or what did you do?
No, just, well,
there were 2.
We did, actually, not Brian, we did that one with Adam, and Adam did AdamBuysHouses.com. It was available.
Yeah.
And then he did AdamInvest.com, and AdamInvest.com is for him to sell his houses.
Okay.
So he basically got himself a domain, they're $12 each for a year. You have the option to renew to go all the way up to 10 years. If you don't, I say don't spend the money right now. Let's get the cash coming in and stop it going out. So for $12, it was $24, $23.90 something. Adam bought both domains. GoDaddy's going to offer you all kinds of add-ons. Just look for the button that says no thanks or next step. Do not because otherwise they will take you from $24 to $240 in the blink of an eye.
All right, so go to ftcdomains.com. That takes them to GoDaddy.
That takes them where they need to go to get their domain.
And then at GoDaddy, they can put in Adam buys houses or Clarice buys houses,
right.
Whatever you want, whatever domain tells the person. Really, you want it to be somewhat descriptive, like Frisco home buyer, or what. And you got to look at what is available. So don't make it where it's 32 characters either. Like realinvestorwebsite.com. I've seen some where it's buy it or sell it or shove it or .com. I mean, it's like there's too many ways of them not because you're going to have you're going to have your website on your marketing pieces, so you want to be as short as possible
because they're going to have to type it. They get a postcard. They don't want to have to. Tim Harridge that lives in Heath buys my house in Dallas.com. I mean, that it doesn't need to be a sentence or two.
Yeah. So bottom line is try to make it as short as possible, but at the same time, you want it to be somewhat descriptive, and at the same time, is it available? And I try not to go with the .net, if you can, because a lot of people are just trained to put in .com. So I've had some .net sites that probably haven't performed as well, and whoever has the .com is getting a lot more traffic.
They're getting your traffic.
Right.
Bandit signs, you don't need to set up an account for these because we're going to tell you what to order and when to order it in Module 2. Logo design,
No, well, it'll be up
tonight. We'll be putting a demo of the logocompany.net up. It's $99.
It was $129.
$129, and they give you 10, right?
Yeah, they give you 7 different designs. You tell them what you like. I got 972 home buyers because I kind of wanted to use the adage that I'm local, and so I kind of used anybody in the area code 972, and I'm not 817 or 214 or 469. So I got that, and they gave me. I told them what I wanted, the kind of the style that I wanted, and gave them some insight. And then they gave me 7 different templates for me to choose. And I could have said, I don't like any of these, and they would have given me more. So bottom line is, if you do, once you get your entity name, then you want to create some kind of, decent looking logo. You don't have to do this to be successful in this business. All right, but it looks more professional when on your marketing pieces or your letterhead when you have a logo, because they see like you took the time. It's kind of like when I get a real estate agent that doesn't have the domain name. It's kind of like I used to have. I have groddy@hotmail.com, and now I have George@roddy.com or George at 972 homebuyers. It just looks like this is what you do instead of a hobby. All right.
Right. And so now what I wanted to do is take you guys inside the portal and kind of tour you around and make sure that you see what you're supposed to see and make sure you understand where you're supposed to go. So if you are in front of your computer, try not to be clicking off. It looks like a lot of y'all are looking at different screens. It tells me if you're attentive or not. Try to just watch what I'm doing, and you can actually look at your screen later, because this is just this is for me to show you guys what it is you're supposed to be looking at. So here we go. This is the Flip That Contract login splash screen, if you will. Some of you still aren't paying attention. And this is the way it looks to those of you that are in the All Access program. So, I want to take you through this. In the free content, if you just click on the word free content. I want to make sure. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Someone let me know you can see my screen. Okay, I see a hand, so I guess that means you can see my screen. Yes. All right. Thanks, Will. All right. So in the free content, you've got the wholesaling audio, an overview I presented, some text, files from the 6-8 webinar where I did about running the numbers. And Fred, you had asked about the recording of that webinar. That recording was corrupted, and we do not have it, which we have fixed now, and there's no way that that'll happen again because we're recording them multiple ways now. But the slides and all the files, see if you click there on that link, it takes you in, and this how to run the numbers PDF, that's actually the, if you open it up by clicking on it, like I said, the PDFs you can just click on and they'll open. It's the Word, Microsoft Office documents that you have to save as. So this right here is how to run the numbers, and these are the actual slides that I used, and they'll take you down through it. But sorry, yeah, we don't have the audio. The file got corrupted and somehow did not save. You can go to the June 11th seminar here. And when you go to the June 11th seminar, you've got files and slides from the seminar. When you click on that folder, you can go in and termination of contract, there's some forms, SOS, Brian Dunklin's slides from that day. You can look at all that there. And then you have the video from Brian's speech at the seminar, the full Module 1 overview video, and the full Module 2 overview video. And guys, since we know that these video and Module 3 will be posted here in the next day, and then Module 4 will be shortly after. Now that we're done with the production of the program, where Brian's focusing more on that, we're going to try to do as little overview as possible during this program and during the coaching calls. So try to take the time to watch those module videos that are posted. They'll be very helpful. And you know, heck, you get more of me.
We want to focus our time on answering specific questions instead of teaching you. I mean, we expect you guys to learn at your own pace, and you know, I might teach a little slower or faster than you want. So that's why we put these things on there for you to watch and digest at your own pace. And then, you know, on the coaching or on the Wednesday calls, that's when we're here about, all right, specific questions, what do you have? And instead of actually going over the presentation.
And then when you go to flip that contract, you click on the word flip that contract, and you know you've got the document library and the setup/foundation for Module 1. If you click on setup/foundation, here are all of the lessons that are recorded at this point in time, or that are posted at this point in time. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got about 2 hours worth of video watching to do, just as of right now. And then tonight and tomorrow, this document library will begin to be populated.
First digest it, first watch the videos, make sure you understand what we're talking about and start implementing each one. And then, you know, we got another 2 hours of video, or at least an hour and a half of video that we're posting. There's going to be, I think, 11 to 12 different videos for each one. I mean, for each lesson. So,
and it's important to note here, okay, this is an embedded YouTube video. You can't access it on YouTube. You have to be here. It's the only place it's embedded. But below is an MP3 of the presentation. So for those of you that are busy and have to work, go ahead and download these MP3s. Put them on your phone, burn them to a CD, take them with you on the go. Now, all the MP3s aren't up yet, but they are being uploaded right as we speak, because we shoot the video and then we strip the MP3 out of it, because we want you to, like for me, for instance, I'm an audio learner, so I like to download these things, stick my headphones on when I'm jogging, when I'm working out, when I'm on a plane, whatever, and listen to it and learn. So download this stuff, digest this stuff, and we're going to make all of this available in an MP3 download. So we want you guys to download the heck out of it, put it on your phones, put it on your iTabs and tablets and all that other stuff, and really digest it. There's really, with today's technological advances, there's no reason to not have the time to listen to everything that we say in this course.
One thing, Tim, on this YouTube video, you know, if they hit the play button, it would start playing, and that box is a little small. So I think most of them know this, but how do you make it the entire screen?
Well, first, anytime I'm watching a video on YouTube, I'm going to tell you all this. Hit this play button right in the middle. Let it start doing this buffer thing, and as soon as it starts to play, hit pause. Because once you don't just hit play and then pause, because sometimes it doesn't start to buffer. But if you notice in the bottom left-hand corner right now, there's a dark red line and a light red line. So this video is buffering. While we're talking, it's making it where my viewing experience is going to be better. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go over here to this bottom full screen menu, and I'm going to hit full screen. It's still buffering. So now I can watch it on the full screen mode. At any time to get out of it, I just hit escape, and it takes me back to here. So, again, download the MP3s, watch the videos. There's a lot more coming your way. You're not behind. And then I want to real quick take you VIPs into the exclusive access view. The only thing is, you've got this exclusive content tab, and when you click there, there's nothing in here yet. We're starting to put it up in the morning. This is where your exclusive content, the Being Shotgun with Me, will be posted. Now, if you have any questions that are of an exclusive nature, go ahead and enter it in here. Now, folks, anytime you're commenting or posting anything, there's a little box here that says post type, comment, question, suggestion, answer. Please take the time to differentiate what it is. If you have a suggestion, we want all the other members of this program to read it. If you have an answer for a question, please answer it. We're not going to get on there and say, oh, no, George was wrong. You needed this. We'll help you all out.
I might do that.
Yeah, well, I'll just moderate the comment. If it's a wrong answer, we'll just make the answer disappear, and we'll get the correct answer up there. And if you just have a comment, a question, a suggestion, please, the more feedback we start hearing from you guys, the quicker we will make sure that this program ends up being exactly what you want out of it. And then rate. If you think we do a good job, give us 5 stars. If you think we do a bad job, give us 5 stars. I mean, you know, give us some ratings here. The ratings just help us know what content you liked and what content you didn't like, and there's no way we can track it. And then
how do they search for stuff?
What you do is when you log in, you're going to go straight to the dashboard. And so on the dashboard, down here, there's a search bar on the left-hand side. So as all of this gets populated, you can type in legal and hit search, and you will end up pulling up any documents or posts that have legal. We don't have any right now because we're still uploading everything, but we're tagging these posts. So we're trying to make this website as user-friendly as possible. On the dashboard, you see some featured categories, which we're going to update soon. You can look at other people's profiles. You can see recent questions. You see here where Rustin said that he was having problems downloading a file. I thought it was because it was Office 2007. He said it wasn't, which was great for me because I was able to take it today, open it on my computer, save it as a different format, and reopen it. And here's where, see, Fred was able to help Savannah download these Excel and Word documents by telling them what to do. And that's what we really want here. We want you guys to be a community and to work together.
An exclusive family. I mean, kind of, we're all here to help one another. I mean, you guys pay money to pick our brain, but we need all of you guys to work together because the masses, you know, this mastermind, and that's really what this is to help each other because all of us have our own different backyards. So don't view it as competition because there's more than enough deals. If you follow our systems and marketing pieces and things like that, there's more than enough deals out there. But I think we can all learn a lot because everyone has different situations and different needs and wants. So bottom line is use this to the best of your ability.
And you're going to see a social media module posted here soon. What you need to do is you just establish this identity. We're going to use Brian, for example. His is Farmers Real Estate Group. Well, Brian is out right now. He's setting up a Facebook fan page. Now, granted, he doesn't have any fans. He just started today. But he's going to set it up, and he's going to get his friends and family to go there. And he's going to start to build his social presence. Brian is setting up a Twitter account. And if you've never used Twitter, it is simple. We're going to walk you through it. But he's going to set up Farmer Real Estate Group as his Twitter username. And you want to make it where it's all branded. And I bring that up because if you look at the splash screen here, I've got some of my social links. I've got my Facebook profile, my Twitter profile, and my LinkedIn profile. Go ahead and click on when you see other people that are in this program. When you see them, click on it, become their friends on all these social platforms, and really connect in all the ways that you can. That's really it for the kickoff webinar. I just wanted to get everyone here all in one spot, and I want to answer questions. So lay them on me. If you want to ask your question out loud, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. If you want to type your question, just go ahead and type it. And one question here is open an LLC to rehab houses. Do you need to open up another LLC for wholesaling? No, you do not. Could you tell me how you're organizing your accounting right now? Fred? Okay, you're using Excel. I would just create a subcategory in Excel. If you want to send me the document, we don't have that set up yet, but yeah, I would just create a subcategory and try to keep your wholesaling expenses separate from your rehabbing expenses, because any time you buy a house, it should all be booked in as inventory depending on your actual setup. And Randy, yes, we have a checklist of everything that should be completed this week, but that checklist is going to be given to you on Friday. The reason is, depending on your age, you may remember being in school, if you're given the list of the questions that are going to be on the test, you typically just go learn the answers to those questions. And we want you guys to soak it in and try to implement and get everything done that we tell you to. And we'll give you the minimums on Friday, and we just hope that you guys don't only try to do the minimums. I'll tell you the one thing that I'm going to harp on you on Friday is if you don't have some sort of identity created, a DBA, something stating who you are and how you're going to operate.
Yeah, this week is all about setting up your back office. So, Randy, who asked that? Randy, you just need to focus on the videos, on setting up those programs, the websites. That should keep you busy because we don't want you to move to step 2 before you have. So everything on the videos, I mean, to answer your question, basically we're going to post the Box.nets and the MailChimps and all these videos and then have the list and so you can check off and work on some of the other things that you might not have done on Friday. But bottom line is, that one thing to answer, how to keep track of expenses. I don't know if any of you guys have an iPhone. I'm kind of an iPhone guy, but I use a software called iExpense. iExpense, and basically it's an iPhone application, and it's IX. I don't even know. IX. It's not EX. It's IX. And look it up if you've got a pad or a phone or iPhone. And that's a great way because I just, I plug everything in and I take a picture of the receipts and then toss the receipts. So it's kind of cool where I'll take a picture of it and then load it in, and then I toss the receipts because it has a digital photo of it. So
yeah, there's another company called Expensify that works well with Google. It's the same deal. What I use myself is there's a couple questions about DBAs. To answer your question, no, the DBA can be done and should be done before you consider that legal entity name. Because let's face it, right now, if you go form a DBA that's Tim buys houses and I register it in Rockwall, as long as no one else in Rockwall has registered that in Rockwall County, I can use that name to do business. Now, with the LLCs, when you and corporate entities, then you have to start doing state searches and federal searches. There's a lot more that goes into it. I say now, while you're getting off the ground, unless you already have a real estate entity, go ahead and just get yourself a DBA. Take your time to really, because with your entity, you're going to need to sit down with an attorney. Now, Brian's deal is going to give you the vast majority of that. But you're also, depending on your financial status in life, you might, and you're going to need to talk most likely to a CPA. Because for me, Rustin's asking the difference between the names I use. See, I've got a DBA, Heritage Homes, and the only thing that DBA is ever on is a letter and a website. And I do it because it's easy for people to remember, and they brand it with me. As far as I have a bank account for that DBA, and that's basically my corporate spending money.
So that's your identity.
That's my identity. The C Corp that is basically the financial workhorse for my family, George, it's actually, my wife owned it before I met her. It was named Jennifer Rainey Investments, and I'm just too cheap to refile a new C Corp. So we've been using it for 8 years, and it works great. It pays all my health insurance. It pays money to a 401k for me. It pays my vehicle expenses and my communication expenses. It's the company that, George, I don't think it's made money in 6 years.
It's been tough, Mark.
It's been tough for that. That C Corp has had a tough time.
It's still there.
Yeah,
we're just hanging on.
Yeah, still giving it money.
A lot of expenses.
Yeah, and it's amazing how in December every year that C Corp finds extra expenses.
Yeah.
So I mean, the one that I use on my mailings, Rustin, is just Heritage Homes, and it's just it makes some. It doesn't say it's not LLC, it's not Inc. It's simply a DBA that I've got a little checking account that when I make less than $600, and that's an important number for me because it means that I'm not getting a 1099. The money's just paid into there, and then it's spent on entertainment expenses with business colleagues. That's kind of my corporate cash account, if you will. But it owns nothing, and it pays for nothing that could be tracked back to any other company. All the contracts are always written in either the C Corp or an S Corp that we own. It just depends on where we are financially. But, Rustin, I've got to back up because that's where I am after 10 years. When I started out, everything, all I had, the first year that I'll never forget, because the first year I made over $120,000 wholesaling, all I had at that time was this Heritage Homes DBA and a personal bank account. That was it. I didn't have an entity. I didn't have anything. And what I'm saying is, for right now, you guys, to save some money, unless you're just dying and chomping at the bit to spend $600, you don't need to worry about an entity. You need to educate yourselves on entities and begin to prepare to create one. But right now you need to focus on an identity, and that identity is the DBA.
The identity is going to make you money, and the entity is going to save you money. You know, and it's kind of, you know, it's a good way, but you don't need to, you know, you need to work on your marketing identity, and so I would focus on getting the DBA and then getting the bank account and having that separation. And then once a few checks come in, that's when you go set up a series LLC, you know, an LLC or a C or S corp.
Because let's face it, right now, you guys on this call are either $1,000 to $3,000 in the hole, and which means it's a personal expense and it's a write-off because it's a business expense. So set it up in the DBA, and once you make $5,000 to $20,000, then we'll worry about the entity and the tax shelters and the fiscal consequences. And the nice thing is, George, we'll worry about that before we deposit the check. So if it's a big check or a check that's going to put you in a positive and out of the negative, then we'll tell you definitely have to go set up an entity to shield yourself from tax consequences.
And we're going to have that because some people are at a point that they want to do it now, and so
but
we'll give it to
that's nothing you can decide in a week. So if you're sitting there listening to this call and you're worried that by Friday or Monday we're going to say, what's your LLC name? Not going to happen. I would say by the time you write your first contract, if you're someone on this call that has assets that would need to be protected, and I'm talking about 401ks, IRAs, things that are in your personal name, personal assets, houses, large cash accounts, things like that, and you're on this call and you're planning to go out and do things fraudulently, it doesn't matter what you set up, you're still going to go to prison. And just let me know if that's you, I'll send you your money back. Just a joke. But if you're on this call and you're looking to ethically wholesale houses, don't worry about the entity. Educate yourselves on entities. We'll get you signed, you know, in the next 6 weeks, you'll be educated enough to where you can make the right decision and set it up the right way.
Right.
Who else has questions? Come on, guys. I was on a roll. Okay. Well, I'm Tim Harridge, and this is George Roddy. Guys, oh, there we go. It always happens whenever I'm, oh, well, thank you. Nice when someone says, nice things. We're getting everything rolling. Give us a day or two to make sure this ball gets rolling in the right direction. Again, with anything, the only stupid question is the one not asked. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, drop us a line, shoot us a comment. The general purpose email address for Flip That Contract is edu, as in education, at flipthatcontract.com. Please, if you're not VIP, or even if you are VIP, if you have any billing issues, if you have any general support issues, send an email to edu, as in education, at flipthatcontract.com. That is monitored by me. It is monitored by George. It is monitored by Dave and Brian and Adam, our support staff. So if you have a private issue of a private nature, something that you just feel like cannot be put out in the public domain, send me an email at tim@dfwinvestors.com or send George an email at george@roddy.com. And if it is truly a private issue that needs to be addressed, we'll address it that way. But the Flip That Contract VIP email address, we'll send that out to you guys tomorrow. So, George, closing thoughts?
It's time to watch some videos.
Yeah.
You know, it's time to watch some videos and get these systems set up. That's what this week is all about, is setting that foundation. And once we have that, we can propel ourselves into marketing and learn how to talk to homeowners and the whole gamut. But this is the first step, is setting up your business.
And I guess the other thing that you need to have done by the end of the week, so that I know you've done what you're going to do, you need to have your YouTube channel set up, which will tell me you have a Google account set up, and you need to go to youtube.com and look up Flip That Contract and subscribe to our feed. and we get a notification when you subscribe. So happy hunting. This is Tim Harris and George Roddy signing off. We'll be sending you guys out some emails soon and sending a whole lot more content your way. Enjoy, ask questions, communicate. Don't be a stranger. Bye now.
See ya.